Hey people, this is your blind buddy. Here we is again. I'm talking about I want to talk about our country, man. A country that I know, uh, as far as I know, is all I know. You know what I mean? And anybody that's been here, I have to exclude some people. I know there's a lot of people that will get mad at me when I say I exclude some people because there are some people that need to be excluded. You understand what I'm saying? And you have to understand why you are excluded in this conversation. When I talk about being born in this country and what the history of this country is, you know what I'm talking about? So it ain't being mean to say I'm gonna have to exclude some people. At the end of this, you'll be glad I excluded you. When you find out the grand scheme of it, this country that I know of is being the man that you see, and this country knows, a black man. With the history of this country when it comes to treatment of people, I know I have a lot to say. Well, no, even if you from another country, that's why you'll be excluded because you don't know the history of people that look like me in this country. You know what I mean? And no, this ain't a race baiting discussion. I'm not trying to race bait. I'm just talking about the country. All right, this country always has had people in its governing hand that has interests of their own. You understand what I'm saying? These are their interests. And this country turned its back on the very people that came together, supposed to come together as a people where everybody's interests are the same. And it's like a fair share of life for everybody, every citizen, every individual of the country. That's why it's called the United States, you know. And instead, this country has went against its own policy and its own own ideals, turn its back on the people, because we let governed people that's in the governing part of it go to other countries and bring people from other countries over here to protect their own interests, which is the bottom line of financial status. So you can try to control the people. Man, that ain't right, man. That ain't right. I don't care whether you Republican, Democratic. Whose fault? Who's gonna take accountability for the government itself not listening to the people? Making every effort to deter the people's idea of what life is in this country, and then base it off of your agenda. But all you're trying to satisfy is your bottom line. How much you gonna get out of it? How much? Well, the people that's in this realm, we gonna take care of you when it's supposed to be everybody. But you got people that want more than everybody else, and that's what keeps everybody else out of it. It keeps it from being the United States because of all the bottom line special interest people that want to sit on a higher plate than everybody else. Right. Turn your back on the people. Now you got more people from other countries and their interests over here fighting against the interests of the government that had the wrong idea when they were trying to protect their own interests. And that's find cheap labor, get people to do work and get nothing for it, so your bottom line can be made. And everybody else that's working struggle to try to find where the bottom line at. You understand what I'm talking about? Yeah. And that's why I'm like, man, the country, you got a lot to answer for. And it's not the people that has to answer for anything. Why do people gotta pay and suffer consequences for things they shouldn't have to answer for? These are things that you should have to answer for because you're the governing bodies. You're dealing with people from other places on the behalf of the people that you keep betraying because you think, well, y'all won't work. Well, you won't pay. So you go to other countries and find people that ain't got nothing, that'll take anything, and you bring them here, and they don't understand. They ain't getting paid nothing either. They just look like they flourishing, and you got to make it look this way in order to keep these people. Because if you were doing them the same way you doing the people in the country, they wouldn't want to come over here.
No.
Now they over here, man. You know, it ain't. I don't think it's by coincidence that you can't. There ain't no more international flights. So if you over here, you can't even get back home unless you're gonna take a boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the Caribbean cruise line probably gonna be making a lot of money after a while. People trying to get back home because you're gonna find out. You know, this country turned its back on its people. The government turned its back on its people. You understand what I'm saying? So if you over here and you working thinking that you gonna be, you know, and now all of a sudden your bottom line is starting to disappear and you can't get back home, you have become as the people. The government turned their back on its own people and you become part of the people, then guess what? It's been turned on you too. It's been turned on you too. Now you can sit around and get mad at me. If you think I'm being hateful or trying to raise bait, now ask yourself, you see why now I excluded some of you in the beginning from the conversation? You should be excluded because you don't know. Now you over here protecting the interests of a country you don't know, ain't got no interest in you other than what you can provide as far as they bottom line. If you stop providing that, then guess what? You stuck over here. You can't get back home. You will be forced because you're gonna be just as the people that were already here before you come over here, thinking that your intelligence was gonna get you somewhere other than where the people that are already here or already are. You're gonna be in the same place. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're trying to catch a fish, you got to throw the right bait out, don't you now?
Yeah.
I can show you a good life and I can let you taste it, but I bet you won't stay there. You ain't gonna stay there. Cause you look at the only reason you was able to live like that because you was getting benefits that slowly disappearing. Yeah. Now what you doing? Something gotta happen.
Yeah.
You know, the governing hands, you know, when they turn their back, anything can happen. You end up with a place full of lawlessness because you got a criminal element over here running around that only knows how to do violent stuff to get their needs met. And anybody will be a targeted victim. You know what I mean? You run around this is a Hunger Games scenario being set up. You know what I'm saying? And it's stupid that people would think this is nothing that you should be entertaining. How the hell you let somebody govern you to the point to where you feel like you gotta attack other people to survive? When the whole idea of the place that you living in should be called what is described as, the United States. It ain't crime element country. This ain't see what I can get idiots to do to each other parallel universe. Are you trying to, why does your mentality as a human being lead you to believe that you got to even do this kind of stuff? You understand what I'm saying? You're letting a situation that somebody else set for you and you don't have, this is why this country got you over here, because this is where your intelligence level is going to wind up as a criminal. Because you don't have common sense, and you'll get mad at somebody like me for telling you that.
Right.
This is why the people need to stick together. I ain't turned my back on nobody in the country. I can't see nobody here. But because of what I got to say, people here in this country will be mad at me and don't even want to hear what I got to say. Not even realize I'm talking about you. Just as well as I'm talking about me. If you ain't got no money and on your way down to where you ain't gonna have no money, then I'm talking about you. And if somebody that's got some money can pay you to try to quiet somebody like me down, then yeah, I'm talking about you. You that fool. You that fool that would do anything for money, including dissolve the truth. You know what I'm saying? You want to know, y'all want to know something real, truthful? If you look in this Bible that everybody talk about, Jesus said that he was going to come back in truth. If you think about it, every time the truth comes up in this country, I can't say the world, I can only speak about this country. Anytime the truth comes up, it gets wiped out. Now, that ought to let you know every time Jesus show up on the earth, he died. Anytime the truth gets destroyed, you just kill the word of God. It's like God come down here and the truth comes out and this world kills it. Every time. And you got people, the same people that's killing off the truth, looking for it. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you that if you attach to that, you are one big ass dummy. You are just stupid. Brother, you will take money over the truth because your only truth is the fact that you feel like you've been brainwashed into thinking that you got to take care of your family because God provided you a way to take care of your family by snuffing out somebody that's going to tell you the truth. Because somebody come along and give you $1 to tell you that person is not telling the truth. Okay, because they got money. You mean tell me you was a liar because you was broke? You know what I mean? Somebody gave you some money and made you the truth. You understand? You know how, look, if you ain't got the capacity to understand what I'm saying, that's exactly why the United States brought you from another country. Because you'll get mad at stuff I'm talking about. You'll despise somebody like me talking the way I talk. It shows your intelligence level. And that's exactly why the country would play and get somebody like you. That's why the government in hands can control somebody like you. Because you'll get mad at stuff like the stuff I say. Because you think you benefiting. You're not benefiting anything. What would I benefit by saying what I'm saying? Right. I'm just telling the truth. But we live in a country where this kind of truth, some idiot can be paid to come get rid of it. Because they bottom line, and they thinking God has done gave them an ability to go out and make money in a manner to where you'll shut the truth off because you don't want to hear it yourself because you think God ain't gonna feed you. You ain't did nothing to me. I'm just one that'll tell the truth. But you don't know which one I am. You don't know which one of those truths I am that will destroy all this. Huh? There'll be a truth that'll come through that'll be so profound, the world better take note to it. Do something to it and watch and see what happens to you. It'll be the last time you ever do another thing to the truth. Because like I tell everybody, I always say the truth set me free. And the way I ride with the truth, I'd hate to know what it would do to somebody that would do something to me. Because I genuinely am just wanting to tell the truth to people. Bible says, don't set stumbling blocks in front of a blind man. I'm just telling the truth. You set a stumbling block in front of me to prevent me from telling the truth that done set me free. I don't even want to think about what happened to you for taking me out, for telling the truth. You better let the truth take me where it's done set me free and stop, and not you be the one to decide what happens to this one that tells the truth. If it make you mad, then guess what? All I can tell you, go sit in your room in a corner and think about what you're doing before you even approach me with attitude about anything I said, because I'm telling the truth. Now, if you get mad, how the hell would I know I'm talking to you? I don't know you. I don't see nobody out there. I'm just telling the truth like I always do. You want to know what made this country bad? You want to know it turned its back on the very people that made the country. Everybody come here turned their back on the very people that made the country what it is. I ain't got to tell you who that is. You decide who that is. If it's you, then it's you. But if you the one that's running around over here thinking that you run everything, you sitting around on top of everything, then you are the problem. You're not a cushion to anything. You're the problem. If I make you mad, you are the problem. You're the very thing I'm talking about. It's cut and dry. You know? If it ain't, and you can't even prove me wrong with your wokeness because you don't even know you sleep because you still in the dark. You don't even know the truth. That's why you get mad at it. When the truth comes before you and stands before you, it makes you mad. Because it will pull you out of the dark and show you exactly what you is. Mm-hmm. And because you want to stay in them dark places, that's why you act like a roach. You get mad and you run back in the dark and you want to do dark things to people that'll tell you a light of truth. You know, if you don't want to accept it, you don't have to. Don't look. And I'm like, you know, I put this. You can't blame Donald Trump. Every president that's done got in office, they always trying to say they doing this, they doing that. You know, but Trump ain't doing nothing. But what you don't want him to do, and that's affect your bottom line. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now, when somebody doing something that you don't want, that you would do yourself, and you ain't benefiting off of it, then yeah, you have a problem. That's why you got Democratic and Republicans arguing, because of the control factor with money. Who gonna help the people? Who gonna put the people back on top? And who gonna sit around and try to find cheap labor? So they can meet their bottom line without having to do nothing. Which one of y'all are doing that? Who will stand and be the voice for the people and let the people have the decision making power back? And who the one that just gonna run around and say, well, I found anybody. We need people that'll work. Well, we need people that'll pay people that do work. If you're gonna have a monetary system. If not, there's a undeniable way to fix all of it. And I guarantee you'll find out where the rubber meets the road. But ain't nobody gonna ever wanna do it. Ain't nobody gonna ever wanna do it. It's impossible to do it on this planet. You'll never get it done. So anybody thinking that they gonna do some grand juncturous world saving, it's impossible to save this world in the manner that would save it. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say this world, I'm gonna just say this country. It'll create a slow leak of a little bit of life, but the United States won't be as big as it is if it were to do so, because of the work factor. You got too many people over here that don't want to work. And you got the other half of the people that ain't gonna work because they ain't getting paid. You understand what I'm saying? But those that will are the ones that always get ostracized, because those are the ones that really put stuff together, and those are the ones that the governing hands are afraid that they will take power. I'm like, people that know how to do stuff ain't studying taking power, they just like living. You understand what I'm saying? Right. And they know how to do the things that will keep the course of a life that everybody can enjoy. They ain't worried about financially bottom line and controlling the way people think. You understand what I'm saying? They know how to build a life where everybody can enjoy it. But those that want to take control of it and monetize it are the ones that cause the problem, and nobody wants to see that. Money is the problem, because that's the God that everybody worships here in this country. Who in this country don't worship money? Yeah, and then they calling it God. See, that's where the problem is. The ones that's got it's a competition who can be the biggest God. Because the one that's got the most money will be the biggest God. It's a stupid ass competition. That shouldn't even exist. That's why you want to know what's got this country messed up. There you go, competition factors. You know, ain't nobody here God. No. You understand? Look at what you do to God when the truth comes through. The truth always comes through, and the truth ain't gonna come from nowhere but God. The devil ain't finna tell no truth. He'll skip around the area, make it look like something that's related to, but they ain't gonna tell outlandishly, diabolically true truth. Them the ones that get ostracized and picked on, and they'll send some of the minions after them. I was about stupid, man. It's just flat out stupid. Yeah. And that's coming from, I feel that's the word of God to let you know you just stupid children. You just little stupid children. Yeah. And if whether I have to tell you or the Father have to tell you, just being little stupid children, stupid, immature children. That's it. I don't care where you're from. If your mentality is in a manner to where this world is constantly got some at a disarray, and you sitting back orchestrating, participating, and or just too stupid to realize you even playing, you even part of the game, you just little stupid, immature children. And I don't care, you ain't got to like me. It ain't gonna change the fact of what you is, you know. Send your minion. Because you know what? I'm one of those that's sick of being here. So, you know, I don't care what you do to me. You know, I'm gonna still tell you the truth. You can't do nothing to me that ain't gonna take but one time for you to do it. And guess what? After that, I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going. I'm gonna see you again. You're gonna belong to me forever. So you can do whatever you want to me here and now for telling you the truth. I'm gonna just tell you what's gonna happen to you in the afterlife. Yeah, you'll belong to me. Trust me. And I'll be able to do whatever I want to with you, just like you doing what you want to with me. Trust me. Yeah, a mirror got two sides. You ever notice why that one side you can't see? So you have to be careful what you do on the one side where you can, because the other side you ain't gonna be able to see. It's still part of the same mirror. Yeah. I'm glad I'm on the back side of it where you can't see me. You can just hear me. And if you can't hear what I said, then hey, we'll see you on the other side. You know what I mean? Blind Buddy out.